The planet on the loading screen.
Oh, but what? Oh, the planet in the background. I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey.
This man has gigantic lips. His name is Harstem.
In the top right, as the blue Protoss, he is MaNa. You know what he has that's gigantic?
What?
His dog.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, shoot. There's a forge on the way.
Oh.
He actually does have he has a really large dog. He's a St. Bernard, so. It was not a lie. That is a cannon rush. I thought MaNa was going to be the one to do something weird, but it is Harstem starting things off. Very odd. Oh.
All right, we'll start with a wall off, making it very difficult for MaNa to go onto that low ground to do anything about this upcoming pylon. So, very nice start here for Harstem.
It's kind of funny. I don't usually anticipate the cannon rusher to block out the mall, but...
Yeah, the problem is he blocked his own probe out. If he had the probe inside, it would be fine. Like, if he blocks from inside, then that's fine. But now, even if he cannons the low ground, it's not gonna... Yeah, I think he didn't see past through this, right?
Oh my god, I think Harstem realizes he made a mistake. Like, the smile was shaking the head. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, I trust Harstem. There must be something to it. But yeah, you usually want a probe in the main. This is now so awkward. Unbelievably awkward. And MaNa also apparently has been liking the forge response to this, so he's clearly adapted to it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan personally of the forge response, but what do I know? I mean, these cannons are so late for Harstem, and they are trapped outside. This cannon at least should have gone right away to help deal with that pylon, but Harstem making a couple of bad decisions and stacking them up against each other. So it's kind of a bad snowball on his side of things. There is a heavy commitment from MaNa to that forge and those cannons. If Harstem just cancels this and MaNa finishes the last cannon, I'm not going to be too sad, honestly.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised MaNa makes another one.
Yeah, very surprising. Cancel! What? Why?
Yeah. Harstem should have canceled his as well, but MaNa at least cancels his last one to further, I guess, make this a good hold. He sent a zealot across the map as Harstem has no wall and no cannon. This is going to get at least a couple of probes. Hop. Barely in time.
Yeah, but I mean... this could have been much better for Harstem, at least if he canceled that last cannon, because MaNa was so overcommitted to the defense. And this is why I don't like the forge, right? Like, MaNa ended up building potentially like 3 cannons. He ended up canceling his, where Harstem didn't cancel his. But with the forge as well, I mean, that's a huge investment in itself to hold this. So Harstem is not going to be as far behind, I think, as he should be. This position might be playable.
PvP in general kind of feels like that matchup that is... Obviously, disruptors make a big potential of comeback to happen, but in general, it seems like because there's so many things to consider, yeah, it seems to be a comeback matchup for sure. So it looks terrifying for Harstem. I think he really did just mess up. He has adapted almost as well as he could have. Would have loved to cancel. I agree on that. MaNa, can his Oracle do damage? If it gets any amount of probes, I think that really solidifies his lead. If it gets nothing done, then hey, we got a game on our hands still.
Yeah, at least Harstem's gonna get the scout, and he's gonna know that it's oracles, but the first oracle is already... Oh no, actually that's just a stalker on the map. So yeah, he has a pretty decent heads up, and it's actually gonna drop his natural base not too far behind MaNa.
Yeah, Harstem's gonna play a Phoenix game. I mean, going for a counter Stargate doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like actually dedicate to Phoenix, but... Okay. He's adapting to the recent patch. He's becoming a 2012 Protoss player again. It's right to void rates after a cannon rush.
I think this is pretty cool because it accounts for both the Oracle and the Stalker, if you think about it. So it's a 1-unit catch-all, you know, not as strong as an Immortal against the Stalker and not as strong as a Phoenix against the Oracle, but good against both defensively. It's a well-rounded unit, so I like the decision here.
Well, I am curious to see if voiders are actually a thing. It's been kind of the talk of this tournament. It's been 3 days, but still, it's been the talk of the tournament. And apparently it's happened. It's just like hasn't really had a lot of high-profile games yet. Like, it happened, I think Goblin did some Void Ray action on the B stream today, and he did try some Void Ray action on this map on Wednesday, but it didn't really get to show its power against kind of a similar setup, you know, where the Void Ray player is a little bit behind, and MaNa is already on his way to Blink.
Do you mean like mass Void Rays then?
Yeah, like a Void Ray opener and don't stop building Void Rays. We saw 5 from Goblin before he died, and curious to see what we see from how many does Harstem get to.
Definitely. For me, even the first Void Ray is better than it was before, to where, you know, like it already, I think today we've seen another Void Ray build early on, and again, it forced a different type of reaction from Serral in that case. So I think the Void Ray is making its way. It's just a matter of how much and how much impact it'll have on its own, I suppose.
I like this a lot from MaNa. He's had that worker lead for a while. He is utilizing it to go for +1, Blink, and now to go for an attack. He's got a gateway being proxied. He doesn't need no Warp Prism. He's an independent Blink man, and he's going to be blinking all over Harstem. And Harstem is going to commit to Void Rays. He gets the Robo as well. He's going to try and hard counter in both ways against Stalkers, because Void Rays, well, it really depends on if they're being targeted or not, but they overcharge, they do help.
Yeah, the problem for Harstem more than anything else is that these 2 Void Rays are out on the map. If they get caught there and not in the presence of his shield batteries, that'll be troublesome. What MaNa is looking to do, what he will want to do, is to be able to 1-shot or 2-shot Void Rays past, like by doing enough damage that they can bypass the shields and the shield battery altogether in the second shot, or you know, in the first shot. If he's not he goes for it, goes for the shield battery right away. Actually, Harstem might have to recall. He does not have enough here. Does he have a recall available?
I don't even think with a recall it's enough. He even blinks on top to get the Immortal. Whether he blinked defensively or offensively, it was going to work well for MaNa. He takes a very good lead. The Void Rays even targeting the Oracle down first. Couldn't take care of the Stalkers. GG. Harstem
just... Go on.
Harstem laughed right before we went back to us. His camera was laughing. I think he knows he messed up.
Yeah, he definitely messed up that early game. But even then, I feel like if all 3 Void Rays are together, at least when the blink happens, at least a couple of Stalkers go down right away. The recall happens, but it happens very late, and it happens on Void Rays that had already used the overcharge on the other side of the map. So yeah, no chance there for Harstem to hold. He did the best that he could from a difficult position that he put himself in by not blocking his own probe in the main.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. It's so good it happens to Harstem, though, you know? Like, I feel like this is another Protoss I am, like, terrified as their mentality. They are, like, you know, raging on their desk and breaking their mouths and stuff, and Harstem just laughs, both during and after the actual execution. So I'm not too worried about his mentality, but it does suck to kind of basically give a game away. There was maybe a potential for a comeback if he had done something trickier, but he did just go into defensive, I hope I hard counter you, which the jury is still out, and if the Void Rays are actually good. Even if the scenario is much better like you were describing, even then it's like, is it still good enough? So Ice and Chrome is going to be our next map, and almost guaranteed not to start off with a cannon rush. So we'll see a mid-game PvP perhaps.
Okay, I would like to see that. Yeah, for me, Void Rays have a place. I'm not sure. I think they had a smaller place before, and now they inevitably will have a bigger place, right? Because they're units that do counter certain things. So there's gotta be situations where the Void Ray is just the better unit to make or to open with, and yeah, in that sense, I don't see it as a binary, are they good or are they bad, but rather, you know, like, do they have more use than before? Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree that verdict is mostly out on those fronts, right? Like how, are we gonna see Void Ray based strategies that revolve purely against? Harstem kind of tried, but it wasn't like even a full commitment to them.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, maybe they'll be more useful, but are they really just like now the go-to thing? I definitely don't think that's the case. Probably less cannons and probably less Void Rays as we head into game number 2. In the top right, as the red Protoss, his team Liquid's Harstem.
And in the bottom left, it is the man that never runs out of energy because he's got all the mana.
So, Ice and Chrome. I don't remember anything particular happening in this matchup on this map. So yeah, no cannons, not really any void ray potential. Otherwise, I feel like I've just seen pretty normal PvPs, mid game disruptor. No quick nexus or like that, stuff like that. MaNa could go for like maybe a faster Stargate. Certainly seen him do that and even really like the build occasionally. But
yeah, I think Stargates would be really strong on this map. I also think anything that like disruptors, like you were mentioning, are good, but there's a lot of chokes on this map. So yeah, it looks like both players are just gonna open the most standard way possible. It's about what units they're gonna be making here. It's a long map, so anything goes really. Adepts are gonna cross it fastest, so maybe a stronger consideration than on most maps. But sentries as well for hallucination, I guess defensively should be good here, right? Because it is a longer map.
We'll get a nicer indication of what they're planning when the first units are being made. Gotta wait for the 7X core for that. Or if MaNa just leaves his probe next to his pylon. Okay, so that already is telling us a lot. So is Harstem, though, funnily enough. If the probe is left there, they're using it. If it's not, it's just one of those fake outs. So what's it gonna be? Was it Twilight Council to Twilight Council? I would love if it was. Stargate to Stargate?
We'll find out in a second.
Oh, it's Stargate to Stargate.
All right. So, tiniest bit of advantage to Harstem in terms of positioning. He's gonna arrive a little bit faster to MaNa's base, presumably, but yeah. I think we're gonna have to see oracles being produced first from either player, right?
Yes. So the funny thing that can happen is if they were scouting each other absolutely thoroughly and entirely, they would be like, where's the Nexus? Where's the Nexus? Where's the third building? And maybe one of them gets a faster idea, but what is happening with this game is that they're not even scouting each other at all. They don't even see what's popping out of the gateways. They sent one probe to proxy, and then that was it. So yeah, they both should be going into oracles unless, you know, someone's got a big brain. Then it's a question.
I don't see with the information that they have. I can't imagine there's a decision to be made in the for Phoenix, for example, right? And the positions of the Stargate as well are primarily positioned to harass. But these adepts might be annoying. Harstem does have stalkers, which should favor him in the Oracle Wars. But you know, are they going to be able to do anything about these? That's the problem. Oh, and now that's a 1-2 punch. Yeah.
Oh, that is terrible. That's actually game ending. That is terrible. PvP is a cruel matchup. 7, maybe 8 probes going down, plus the Oracle. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Where's the Oracle? Where is it coming in? Both sides, but stalkers from MaNa are back at home, already deflecting this, and I think Harstem might even tap out seeing that.
It's not unlikely. Now MaNa is coming with his own Oracle. There are the stalkers of Harstem now properly positioned. So yeah, that all comes down to that one shield battery that didn't go down. A very uncharacteristic mistake for anyone playing at this level. So it's a rough series, and MaNa's gonna close it up real quick.
Oh, that was one of the harshest PvPs I've seen.